I know you have a good heart, but it's crucial to realize that not everyone you meet will have the same intentions. As kind-hearted people, we naturally want to believe in solutions for the world, and we tend to hold on to hope when it comes to other people's goodness. We want to believe that everyone means well, that there is a chance to connect and find peace with others. But if we don't stay alert, this belief can sometimes lead to us being hurt. Sadly, many people do not have the same kind intentions. Some are malicious and can cross our paths, causing pain or distress. That's why it's important to be aware of the signs of such people, so you can recognize when you're dealing with someone who does not have your best interest at heart and take steps to protect yourself. You've probably encountered someone in your life who, without any remorse, hurts others emotionally or takes advantage of their weaknesses. They might say cruel things, play with people's emotions, or manipulate situations for their own benefit. Sometimes these behaviors are very subtle, making it hard to even realize what's happening until the damage is done. In today's video, I'll walk you through the key signs that you're dealing with a bad person and what you can do when they come into your life. Some people will make you feel guilty, no matter the situation, constantly blaming you or others to make themselves seem like the victim. Others might pretend to be your friend when they're around you, only to speak poorly of you behind your back. These behaviors are manipulative and harmful, and you should be prepared, because unfortunately, not all negative influences come from strangers. Sometimes, these disruptive forces can even come from people in your own family. Now, I truly believe that family is one of the greatest blessings we can have in life, a gift from God, but that doesn't change the fact that some family members may lean towards their worst instincts. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you 9 signs, actually, make that 10 signs, that show you're dealing with a bad person. And I'll also explain what you should do when someone like this enters your life. Before we dive into the first sign, don't forget to hit the like button if you're someone who loves learning about life and wisdom. It helps the channel grow and ensures you don't miss out on any future content. And here's a piece of advice. People often want to see you do well, but not better than them. This truth is something you should always keep in mind. Now let's get into it. Sign number 1, pleasure in others' pain. One of the most telling signs of a bad person is that they feel joy or satisfaction when they see others suffer. If you know someone who seems to laugh or smile when others are going through tough times, that's a major red flag. This behavior reveals a complete lack of empathy and an enjoyment of others' misfortune. They may even create situations that cause pain, just so they can witness the suffering of others and derive pleasure from it. Picture a scenario where a coworker sees that you're struggling with a heavy workload. Instead of offering help or support, they laugh at your situation, maybe even making jokes about it. Or a friend who hears about a personal problem you're dealing with and, instead of comforting you, they find a way to mock you. These are clear signs of cruelty and indifference to others' feelings. Sometimes, these individuals will go out of their way to provoke trouble for others, just so they can enjoy watching the fallout. They may gossip or spread rumors, create unnecessary drama, or even deliberately stir up conflicts, all to watch the reactions of those involved and gain satisfaction from the chaos they've caused. It's essential to recognize this type of behavior early on. Distancing yourself from individuals who take pleasure in the suffering of others will help you protect your own emotional health and well-being. These people will never offer you genuine support or friendship, and staying around them can lead to deep emotional harm. Sign number 2, a constant need to control everything. Bad people are often obsessed with control. They are deeply uncomfortable when things aren't going exactly as they want, and will go to great lengths to make sure they are in charge of every detail of their life and yours. This need for control extends to the people around them. They will attempt to control your actions, decisions, and even your thoughts. If they are in a position of power, they will use it to dominate others. And if they aren't, they will manipulate situations to gain control in more subtle ways. For instance, think about a boss who insists on reviewing every minor detail of your work. They aren't doing this because they want to help or improve the outcome. It's because they need to feel in control of the situation. Or consider a friend who always decides where you're going, what you're doing, and who you're spending time with, without ever asking for your opinion or input. These actions reveal an overwhelming need for control, which can quickly become oppressive and exhausting. These people may also manipulate situations to keep the upper hand, creating strict rules or emotional traps to ensure that everything goes their way. For example, a romantic partner who constantly wants to know where you are, who you're talking to, and what you're doing may try to frame this behavior as concern or love. But in reality, it's driven by a need to control your life. This need for control can become dangerous if left unchecked. It's important to recognize these patterns and set boundaries to protect your independence and emotional health. Sign number 3, a strange feeling when you're around them. One of the clearest signs that you're dealing with a bad person is how you feel when you're around them. You might not be able to put your finger on it, but you'll notice a sense of unease, tension, or discomfort whenever you're in their presence. This is often your intuition telling you that something isn't right. Imagine being at a social gathering where everyone seems to be having a good time, but there's one person whose presence always makes you feel anxious or on edge. Even if they're not doing anything openly harmful, their energy alone seems to disrupt your peace. This could be a family member, a coworker, or even a friend who just gives off a bad vibe every time you're near them. Similarly, think about a coworker who, every time they come near, leaves you feeling drained or exhausted after the interaction. You might not know exactly what's wrong, but your body and mind are picking up on subtle cues that your conscious mind is missing. Don't ignore these feelings. Our instincts often perceive dangers long before we can fully understand them. If you constantly feel uncomfortable around someone, it's important to take that seriously. It may be a sign that they have negative intentions or that their presence is toxic to your emotional well-being. Recognizing these feelings early on can help you avoid getting caught in harmful situations or relationships. Trust your instincts. They exist to protect you, and paying attention to them is crucial for maintaining your mental and emotional balance. Sign number 4, refusal to take responsibility. Another major sign that someone is a bad person is their refusal to accept responsibility for their actions. These individuals will always find a way to shift blame onto others, never admitting when they've done something wrong. Instead, they make excuses or play the victim, making it seem like everyone else is to blame for their mistakes or shortcomings. For example, you might have a coworker who makes a mistake on an important project. Instead of owning up to it, they immediately start pointing fingers, trying to make it seem like it was your fault or someone else's fault, but never theirs. This creates a toxic and unfair environment where others are constantly taking the fall for their missteps. Or consider a friend who is always getting into trouble, whether it's missing appointments, making poor choices, or ending up in difficult situations. Rather than acknowledging that their own decisions led to these problems, they always find someone or something else to blame. If they're late, it's because of traffic or because someone else held them up. If something goes wrong, they never reflect on their own behavior, always finding external reasons to explain their failures. These individuals are also highly skilled at making you feel guilty for their mistakes. They'll twist the situation so that you end up apologizing for things that weren't even your fault. This kind of emotional manipulation can be draining and harmful to your self-esteem over time. Recognizing this behavior early is crucial for protecting your mental health. People who never take responsibility for their actions can pull you into a cycle of guilt and blame, making you feel like you're always in the wrong. Learning to set boundaries and distance yourself from these people is essential for preserving your own well-being. Number 6, lack of remorse. One of the most striking signs of a bad person is their inability to feel guilt for their actions. People who don't experience guilt for hurting others are likely to continue engaging in harmful behaviors, knowing that there won't be any real consequences for them. They can manipulate situations to their advantage without considering the emotional damage they inflict. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly says hurtful things, dismissing your feelings whenever you try to address their behavior. Even after causing pain, they don't apologize or show any remorse. This lack of accountability allows them to repeat their harmful actions, knowing they won't face any consequences. Recognizing this trait early and setting clear boundaries is essential for protecting yourself from further emotional damage. If someone continuously shows a lack of remorse, it's important to consider distancing yourself from that person to safeguard your well-being. It's vital to ensure your mental health is protected by avoiding those who refuse to take responsibility for their actions. Number 7, open cruelty. Some bad people don't even bother to hide their malicious intention. Their cruelty is apparent in their words and actions, and they often take delight in causing others pain. These individuals lack empathy and and don't hesitate to hurt others, whether emotionally or physically, for their own satisfaction. Consider a coworker who humiliates you during a meeting, pointing out your mistakes not to help you improve, but to demoralize you in front of others. Their goal isn't constructive criticism, it's to undermine your confidence and create a toxic work environment. Similarly, imagine a friend who makes cruel jokes about your insecurities, knowing it hurts you, but continuing anyway because they enjoy your discomfort. This lack of empathy and pleasure in others' suffering is a clear sign of a bad person. These individuals might also display aggressive behavior, either verbally or physically. For example, a romantic partner who regularly insults you or physically harms you is openly demonstrating cruelty. The intent behind their actions is to control and hurt, showing a total disregard for your dignity and well-being. Recognizing cruelty is essential to protecting your emotional and physical safety. People who are openly cruel care little for others' feelings and can cause long-lasting harm. Setting boundaries and distancing yourself from them is necessary to maintain your peace of mind and safety. Number 8, friends and family warnings. Another important sign is when those closest to you, your friends and family, warn you about someone's character. These warnings come from their observations of toxic or harmful behaviors that you may not have noticed yet, especially if you're emotionally involved. Ignoring these red flags can put you at risk of experiencing the same pain they did. Imagine you start dating someone, and soon your closest friends and family express concern. They might mention that this person has a history of manipulation or disrespect in their past relationships. While it can be difficult to accept these criticisms, especially if you've already developed feelings for the person, it's crucial to listen carefully. They may have seen things you haven't yet noticed. Another example is starting a new job and having your colleagues warn you about a particular supervisor. They might share stories of how this person creates a hostile work environment by mistreating subordinates or never taking responsibility for their mistakes. These stories are not just idle gossip. They are based on real experiences and can serve as a valuable warning to you. Friends and family care about your well-being and want the best for you. If several people warn you about the same person, it's a strong sign you should proceed with caution. While it might be easy to ignore or downplay their concerns, taking these warnings seriously can save you from future pain. Number 9, contempt. One of the worst forms of emotional manipulation is contempt. A person who constantly criticizes or belittles you, making you feel inferior, is demonstrating deep-seated malice. They might mock your appearance, dreams, or interests in an attempt to erode your self-confidence. Consider a partner who frequently criticizes your looks, saying things like, "You'd be more attractive if," or "Why don't you dress better?" These aren't constructive comments. They're designed to undermine your confidence and make you doubt yourself. Another example is a friend who ridicules your passions and achievements, making you feel like your goals are worthless. This type of behavior is meant to weaken your self-esteem so that you become dependent on their approval. They aim to reshape your perception of yourself, controlling you emotionally. Do not allow these people to manipulate your self-image. You are valuable and deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. If someone continually tries to diminish your worth, it's a clear sign that they are not interested in your well-being. Protect yourself by distancing yourself from those who try to tear you down, and seek relationships that support your personal growth and happiness. Number 10, cruelty towards animals. One of the most telling signs of a bad person is cruelty towards animals. Someone who mistreats or neglects animals is revealing deep problems in their character. A lack of empathy towards animals often extends to other areas of their life, and such behavior can be a warning sign of more serious issues. Imagine a neighbor who constantly yells at or hits their dog for the smallest reasons. This behavior not only causes suffering to the animal, but also highlights the person's inability to control their emotions. Another example is someone who keeps their pets in terrible living conditions, neglecting their health and hygiene. This lack of care shows a complete disregard for the animal's well-being and reflects a deeper issue with empathy. Studies have shown that cruelty towards animals is often linked to violent behaviors towards humans as well. Recognizing these signs early on is important for your own safety and the safety of others. If you see someone displaying such cruelty, it's essential to distance yourself from them and, if necessary, report the behavior to the authorities to protect the animals involved. At the end of this video, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you know other signs of a bad person that weren't mentioned here? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you made it to the end of this video, write in the comments. Good always triumphs over evil. And don't forget to hit that like button if you found these insights valuable. Subscribe for more wisdom, and let's all strive to be wiser today. Until next time.